Hey everybody, and welcome to a special episode of DIY Music, where we are going to be taking a nylon string Rogue ukulele, soprano size, and converting it to a steel string ukulele, which is not really a thing, but we're going to do it anyway. And there'll be some interesting bumps along the way, and we'll learn some stuff, so let's go. So this is the Rogue ru-12. It's a soprano ukulele, mahogany, has friction tuners, which I'm not a fan of, so got to remove those things and put geared tuners in. So in order to do that, you just unscrew this one screw on the end, and then the whole thing just comes apart and falls out. So in order to get these bushings out here, I just used the head of the tuning peg I was replacing it with and pushed them out from the back, and that worked real well. Now these tuning pegs from cbgitty, it's a cigar box guitar crafter supply, which I got a new bridge from them because this one was terrible. I just made it, hacked it together from stuff from Home Depot. It was just the worst. So you can see that here we go with all the tuners out and the original bridge popped off. So these cigar box tuners, 2L, 2R from cbgitty, the new bushings, just had to bang them in with, in this case, the end of a plastic screwdriver, just so that it won't mar the finish of the bushings. So nice and shiny still. Yay! So these new tuners, they're 2L, 2R, you gotta make sure you put them in the right way, which is the gold thing on the bottom, and I use an awl in order to stab the holes for the little screws that prevent the thing from turning, and then you just screw those in after you've poked the holes where they belong. You can see there you got it nice, and boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, rinse and repeat, get them all in there. As far as the new bridge goes, it just has 2 screws. It goes right there on the tail block. Just center it on that separation between the 2 halves of the back, and then you're ready to go. So now that we have the steel strings on the guitar and the bridge in its theoretical original position, we can see the issue pretty clearly. So let's play this string. It doesn't really matter what it's tuned to as long as it's up to a certain point. The tension makes it represent the note accurately, which it is. So it's the string, and then here at the 12th fret, where if the intonation was correct, it should be the same note. You can hear it's sharp significantly. In fact, down here at the 11, it's almost right. So we got a real problem. This bridge is way in the wrong position for these new steel strings, even though the original ones worked. So the long and short of it is we need to move the bridge. That's not the only issue. As you can see, strings are way too close together down here at the bridge. We're gonna have to find a way to spread those out. So the tailpiece, the spacing is not where we want it to be. But as far as the intonation issue goes, if we just move this bridge backward, say about there, previously determined that the back edge of where the bridge used to be is about the right position. So now you can hear open and the 12 are pretty much the same note. So there we go. In order to get the intonation right for steel strings, got to move it back about that much. So now the question is, what kind of bridge do we want to use? Now a bridge doesn't have to be anything in particular. I mean, all a bridge does is it determines the end point of the ringing length of the string, which starts up here at the nut. So the vibrating part of the string goes from there to wherever the bridge stops it. So in this case, I want that to be right along this back line for where the original bridge was. But I mean, it can really be anything as long as it transfers the vibration to the instrument effectively. So here we got a bridge off a lap harp. Yep, that works. Or even this old 1/4-inch stereo jack here. So yeah, I mean, that technically works. It's just a question of what you want it to sound like. And also, in this case, we need to use something that is going to allow us to spread out these strings here at the bridge in order to get the spacing that we want. So something with a natural pattern of ridges in it would be good, like a bolt or something along those lines. So there's a trem spring off a Strat. Seems to work okay. The metal's a bit rattly sounding. There's a nut off an old guitar. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, this should actually be flipped around the other way so that the breaking edge is facing the neck. But we have to file in new positions for these middle two strings between these guys so that it was spread out better. So anyways, you get the idea. But I actually had a brand new ukulele bridge in my parts box, so I'm just going to go ahead and use that, and I've flipped it around so that the bridge is on the tail side instead of on this side where it usually is, because that allows me to get the clearance I want coming off the tailpiece. So this should work pretty well. So all I got to do is cut slots in the nut where I want the string spacing to be, and make sure they're deep enough that they won't pop out, and that'll keep them in the right positions, and we'll be good to go. As the guide for the string spacing, I'm just going to use the old bridges slots where the ends of the strings were held that I busted when I put the steel strings on it and it ripped the thing up. So I'm just going to use that as the guide for where the slots on the new bridge need to go. So there's the slotted bridge, which is spreading the strings nicely to the width we want coming from the tailpiece there. Yay! A note about bridge height and setup. So this may not look like a lot on video. These strings are really high off the fretboard toward the sound hole. So as you can see, this bridge, I can only go down so low with the notches before it's touching the wood of this bridge, and at that point it won't be achieving what I want it to. So I used a Sharpie marker to mark where the absolute lowest we can go on the bridges, and now I'm going to go back and really file those grooves a lot deeper and hopefully get a much better action that way. There you have it, folks. Steel string ukulele. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. And if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thank you.